In 2009, a shaky video surfaced from the Tatra Mountains near the border between Poland and Slovakia.
Nie, popatrzę na ciebie.
Jezus, ale przestań mnie kręcić, tu to... Tadek to się w krzakach. Chryste, Jezus, co to jest?
The brief clip, despite being blurry and unstable, spread quickly online. It appeared to capture something unusual moving in the distance. A dark, upright figure that many believed could be Bigfoot. At first look, the footage seems excessively shaky, far more than expected from a normal handheld recording. While cameras from that time lacked modern stabilization, the movement feels strangely intentional, almost as if the person filming was deliberately shaking it. Even with its low quality, the video sparked intense debate. Some dismissed it as an obvious fake, while others argued that its raw imperfections made it feel more authentic. To this day, it remains an odd and mysterious piece of internet history, a brief glimpse that continues to fuel curiosity about what might roam those remote mountain paths. What starts as a quiet solo hike through a Slovakian forest quickly becomes something far more frightening. In full daylight, a lone traveler moves deep into the woods, surrounded by the calm stillness of nature. That calm is broken upon discovering a strange structure formed from twisted tree branches, resembling a shelter, yet clearly not made by human hands. The area feels unnaturally quiet, absent of movement or sound. Driven by curiosity, the explorer presses farther into the dense forest, watching every shadow between the trees. Then, from behind the branches, a massive dark form appears, tall, unmoving, and observing. Many refer to it as the Slovakian Yeti. For a brief moment, their eyes meet before a chilling roar shatters the silence. With his heart racing, the explorer turns and runs, the sound echoing through the forest as he escapes back into the daylight. A group of hikers were taking a peaceful walk through the forest when they came across something deeply unsettling. Piles of bones scattered along the ground, creating what appeared to be a crude graveyard. Among the remains were skulls, jawbones, and vertebrae, some belonging to deer, others to cats and dogs, arranged in strange, deliberate patterns that didn't seem natural. Some suggested that wild animals may have dragged their prey to the spot, while others felt the scene pointed to something far more intentional, even connected to Bigfoot legends. The disturbing discovery sent a chill through the group. Without exchanging many words, they turned around and left the woods immediately, haunted by one lingering thought in the silence. What if they were next? Could this be evidence of Bigfoot in South America? What started as a playful afternoon quickly became something far more unsettling. A group of children were playing near the edge of a field, laughing and filming each other close to the trees. Everything seemed normal until the camera picked up sudden movement in the distance. A dark figure appeared, running toward them at high speed as it emerged from the shadows. Panic broke out as the children screamed and fled, dropping their toys and scattering across the field. Later, they reviewed the footage in shock. Some believe it could be the Pomeroy, South America's version of Bigfoot. Others think it may have been something even stranger. While hiking deep in the forest at night, a man recorded something deeply unsettling.
What is that? Looks like eye shine. Whistle? Fuck. Whistling was a bad idea.
In the darkness, a pair of glowing eyes appeared, reflecting light like a predator's stare. A faint whistle followed, a choice he likely came to regret. A large, shadowy figure then emerged, its size and shape hard to make out. Some viewers claimed it was Bigfoot, while others believed it may have been a bear. Skeptics argued the moment was staged, yet the eerie, quiet, and remote setting made the footage undeniably disturbing. Even now, the true identity of what appeared remains unknown. On a cool autumn morning, a father and his son set out into the forest for a day of exploring, looking forward to the crisp air and the quiet of nature. Before long, however, something drew their attention, a strange figure moving among the trees. Curious, they chose to get a closer look. With the camera rolling, they zoomed in on the unusual shape, its outline barely visible through the branches. Moments later, the figure stepped into view. Large, quick, and disturbingly fluid in its movement. Then, without warning, it burst from the trees, racing away at incredible speed, leaving the father and son standing still in disbelief. In a remote Tibetan village near the border with China, residents reportedly discovered a massive humanoid figure lying still on the ground. It was described as having a human-like face, tangled hair, a gorilla-shaped torso, and unusually large feet. The footage spread quickly online, drawing global attention and debate. Some viewers insisted it was clear evidence of a Yeti or Bigfoot, while others argued it looked staged, more like a prop from a film than a living creature. Without additional verification or supporting evidence, many remained doubtful about the claim. Late one night, deep near a quiet creek in Kentucky, something enormous was captured on camera. Near the edge of Kentucky Ridge Forest, a man noticed a towering figure standing in shallow water close to an old mine behind his property. The figure remained still, its eyes faintly reflecting in the darkness, unsettling, yet clearly visible. Despite the poor lighting, he pulled out his phone and zoomed in, recording the shadowy form before it disappeared back into the night.
Are you joking right now? Empty house.
In the weeks that followed, a friend reported unusual activity in the same area. Unexplained sounds, snapped branches, and disturbed ground near the creek. When the footage was later enhanced, it showed a dome-shaped head and a massive frame that dwarfed the surrounding trees. It didn't move like any known animal, standing motionless in the water as if foraging before realizing it had been noticed. The figure blended perfectly into the forest behind it, leaving many to ask, was this truly Bigfoot, silently watching from the shadows? On May 18th in Monroe County, Michigan, Edward Henry and his 12-year-old son were fishing near Plum Creek when their peaceful afternoon suddenly changed. Without warning, loud rustling came from the nearby woods, followed by a deep, heavy thump that shattered the quiet. Turning toward the noise, they saw something remarkable. A towering figure, close to 8 feet tall, with a thick, hair-covered back and an enormous build. For a brief moment, it remained fully visible. Then, once it seemed aware it had been noticed, the figure turned and quickly vanished into the forest, leaving behind only the fading sound of snapping branches. A quiet walk through the forest in New Brunswick took an unexpected turn near the river's edge. In July 2023, just outside Bathurst, someone carefully exploring the thick woodland noticed subtle movement among the trees. Acting on instinct, they slipped behind dense brush and began recording, sensing that whatever they had seen wasn't a typical animal of the forest. Through the camera, a tall, dark figure appeared standing completely still beside the flowing river. Its shadowy form blended almost seamlessly with the tree line, as though it were intentionally avoiding detection. When the footage was later zoomed in and slowed down, the shape became more defined, large, upright, and unsettlingly motionless. The question remains, could this have been Bigfoot? quietly watching from the forest's edge the entire time? On August 28, 2025, a man named Jeff recorded something unusual while driving past a fog-shrouded forest.
Whoa.
Through the haze, he noticed a massive figure moving between the trees, standing roughly 8 feet tall, covered in thick brown fur, and built with a heavy, muscular frame. The encounter lasted only a few seconds, but it was enough to leave a lasting impression. The figure's proportions and motion seemed too natural, too smooth, to be a simple trick. Many who later reviewed the footage argued that no costume could replicate such lifelike texture and detail, leaving an unsettling question about what Jeff actually captured that day. Many have claimed that no costume could replicate movement this realistic, but could this encounter truly be real? Late one night on a snow-covered road in Russia, a driver's dash cam recorded something unexpected. Through blowing snow and faint headlights, a tall figure came into view, crossing the road ahead. Its movements were fast yet unnatural, with an outline that was hard to make out. For several seconds, the figure's large frame was visible, too bulky and strangely proportioned to match any known animal. The driver slowed, trying to get a better look, but moments later, the figure vanished into the darkness beyond the trees. The brief sighting left only unanswered questions, and the unsettling possibility that something unknown may still roam those frozen roads. The brief discovery raised more questions than answers. Was this truly a Bigfoot footprint, or something else entirely? In March 2021, while hiking off-trail through a canyon in California's San Bernardino National Forest, a man noticed something unusual pressed into the dirt. A single, oversized footprint. It showed a defined heel and 5 clear toes, shaped much like a human foot, but noticeably wider. The length was comparable to a men's size 12, yet the width was nearly twice as large. Nearby, a few faint toe marks were also visible, though no other full tracks could be found. With no clear explanation for how such a print appeared so deep in the wilderness, the find continues to fuel debate and keep the legend of Bigfoot alive. In the snow-covered woods of Noble County, Ohio, something unusual appeared to be taking place.
Holy crap. There they go.
Nearby, faint impressions that looked like partial toes could be seen in the snow, yet no complete footprints were visible. A man moved carefully through the forest, his breath rising in the freezing air. Then, off in the distance, he spotted movement, a large, dark figure partially hidden among the trees. Moments later, the quiet was broken by the sound of cracking wood. Through his camera, he zoomed in just in time to catch the figure shaking a tree with tremendous force, as if attempting to pull it down. The forest echoed with deep, rhythmic knocking sounds and unsettling vocalizations, noises unlike anything produced by known animals. Whatever was there moved with strength and intent, leaving behind snapped branches and lingering questions. Strange vocal sounds and sharp tree knocks echoed through the forest, sending chills through the hikers.
It's the Ohio grass, man. What is that? Look at the hair. You can see all the hair.
Could this finally be evidence of Bigfoot's existence? In 2022, a group exploring Ohio's Salt Fork State Park recorded footage of an unusual figure moving between the trees. The figure, often called the Ohio Grassman, appeared dark, covered in hair, and walked upright with a wide, natural stride. Although smaller than many expected, its movement seemed too smooth and purposeful to be human, leading some to suggest it could have been a juvenile Bigfoot. Salt Fork has long been viewed as a hotspot for similar encounters, with more than 36 reported sightings dating back to the late 1800s. And with no wild apes native to the area, the mystery of what appeared on camera remains unresolved. What began as a routine morning for a truck driver in Alberta, Canada, took an unexpected turn when his dashcam captured something unusual as the truck entered an industrial area. The camera recorded a massive, upright figure standing near the tree line, dark, completely still, and estimated to be nearly 11 feet tall. Its enormous shape seemed to blend unnaturally into the surroundings. Unaware of what had been recorded, the driver continued with his work. Moments later, after stepping out of the truck, he noticed the figure in the distance. Startled, he froze briefly before jumping back inside and driving off, leaving behind the unsettling footage. Could this have been a genuine encounter with a Sasquatch? The footage was recorded in California's Sierra Nevada mountains, and appears to show a towering figure covered in brown-toned fur, its size enormous compared to the surrounding trees. What made the clip even more disturbing were the unusual echoing sounds heard in the background, eerie calls that seemed to travel through the forest, adding weight to claims that this could be the elusive Sierra Bigfoot. Very little information was ever shared about the video or the individual who filmed it, leaving the mystery unresolved, and the chilling possibility lingering in the minds of viewers. A snowy trail ride takes an unexpected turn, leaving just enough mystery behind. As a group of riders traveled through the snow-covered mountains, one biker's camera unintentionally recorded something remarkable on a distant hillside. A massive figure came into view, moving calmly across the snow. It walked with slow, deliberate steps, leaving deep impressions far too large to belong to any human. Unlike many reported sightings, this one did not run or try to conceal itself. The figure simply continued forward, striding as if it belonged in the frozen landscape. The full story was later shared in the video's description, but even without added context, the footage stands on its own. The group could only watch in stunned silence, unsure whether they had seen a person, a trick of light, or something beyond explanation. While hiking through New River Gorge in West Virginia, a woman came across a massive rock formation that seemed less like a natural outcrop and more like something intentionally constructed. From afar, it blended into the surrounding landscape, but up close the shapes and patterns appeared unusually symmetrical. One section even looked like a large doorway carved into the stone. Even more unusual were the large, deep impressions found across its surface. Some believe it is entirely natural, the result of erosion and chance. Others question whether something enormous may have once lived there. On July 12, 2013, a man uploaded an unsettling video to the Legends Beware channel, recording what began as a routine family visit to Otter Blue Ridge, Georgia. What started as a calm outing quickly took a strange turn when
Get in the house! Get in the house!
while filming the surroundings, he noticed something unusual near the tree line. Driven by curiosity, he followed the figure into the woods in hopes of getting a better look. As he moved closer, the figure produced a series of disturbing sounds that immediately raised concern. Some viewers quickly dismissed the footage as someone wearing a costume, while others pointed to the figure's size, shape, and movement, suggesting it could be a juvenile Bigfoot. Someone eventually attempted to move in for a closer view, but the encounter ended without a clear explanation, leaving one question unanswered. Was it a hoax or something far more unsettling? A man in Washington recently posted a blurry photograph that he claims shows Bigfoot outside his secluded cabin. In the image, a dark shape appears to be looking in through a window at night, watching from the shadows. The photo quickly sparked discussion online, though most viewers remained doubtful. In a time when nearly everyone carries a high-quality camera in their pocket, many are left asking the same question. Why do images like this still end up so unclear? In May 2025, a man reviewing footage from a trail camera he had placed deep in the forest noticed something unsettling. Roughly 25 meters away, partially concealed among the trees, a large dark figure stood completely still. It appeared far too tall and far too wide, and its movement didn't match that of any animal he recognized. Was this authentic footage of Bigfoot, or simply a moment that felt almost too perfectly timed to be real? On May 26, 2025, a man shared a photo on X, explaining that it had been shown to him by his tour guide. In the image, one person is walking toward the camera while another triggers a flash to take the picture, and the flash unexpectedly captures something unsettling in the frame. Behind them, what looks like a pair of glowing eyes and a large humanoid shape appears to be staring directly at the camera. So what do you think? Pareidolia, and a camera artifact, or possible evidence of Bigfoot? A hiker noticed a figure moving in a strange, almost unnatural manner. At first, he believed it was another person, but the figure's size and the way it moved quickly raised questions. Someone attempted to zoom in for a clearer view, yet the image remained blurry and lacking detail. There is no confirmed information about who recorded the footage or where it was filmed, but something about the sighting felt unusual. In a separate case, another individual posted a photo online, claiming to have seen Bigfoot while camping. At first, they assumed it could have been a bear, but the way it walked didn't match typical bear movement. The subject was too far away for a clear look, so they took a photo with the intention of examining it later. When they zoomed in, the body appeared more ape-like, which raised questions, since apes are not native to that area. What was captured remains unclear, but many viewers were quick to suspect Bigfoot. In a quiet area of the Southern California mountains, a group of hikers encountered something they couldn't explain. Crouched just behind the brush was a massive figure, tall, wide, and noticeably larger than an average person. Its sheer size alone made the sight difficult to dismiss. Curious about the image, a YouTuber known as Thinker Thunker analyzed the photo. He first examined the lighting and shadow alignment, which matched the surrounding environment. He then performed a color DNA test, increasing saturation to look for signs of digital manipulation. In altered images, modified areas usually stand out during this process, but in this case, nothing appeared inconsistent. The colors and textures blended naturally with the background. His conclusion was straightforward. Whatever appeared in the image was there at the moment the photo was taken. So the question remains, did they actually capture Bigfoot on camera? Team members Kirk, Shane, and Dave reviewed thermal footage that showed a bipedal form moving through the forest. Unlike typical thermal recordings of people, where backpacks, jackets, and other equipment appear clearly, this footage showed no gear at all. There was no pack, no headwear, no visible outline of clothing, just a clean heat silhouette, even when the image was enlarged to 200% zoom. Later footage featured hunters who displayed obvious gear on the same thermal camera, clearly highlighting the contrast. In another segment, a brief heat signature appears from behind a tree, aligning with the timing of the initial sighting. The team also tried to recreate the original clip, but their reenactment did not fully match. They ultimately classified the footage as inconclusive, though the complete lack of visible gear makes this case stand out from every human recorded by that camera. While hunting in Salt Fork State Park, Ohio, a man suddenly noticed something unusual. A large, ape-like figure moved quietly through the trees.
See all the hair? It'd be stupid to walk out here in a suit and get shot. He's right behind that tree. And his hair's gray and black. Is that gray? Is that snow? That's not snow. It's gray. Brown, gray.
Its fur showing shades of gray and black. It looked tall and broad, far too convincing to be a costume and far too dangerous for anyone to wear in an active hunting area. Some locals believe he may have encountered the Ohio grassman, a regional legend said to construct grass nests and wander the rural forests. Reports of similar creatures in Ohio date back as far as 1869. A man piloted his drone above a quiet lake in northern Maine while searching for a new fishing location. He wasn't looking for legends, just taking in a peaceful day. Later that night, while reviewing the footage, something unusual appeared near the tree line, a tall figure covered in dark fur moving upright on two legs. After noticing it, he returned and recorded the area again, hoping to capture it once more, but the figure had vanished. He later uploaded the clip online, asking whether anyone could explain what he had recorded that day. In 2009, a video titled "Yellow-Top Bigfoot" appeared on YouTube, showing a figure with a yellowish patch of hair on its head moving through the forest near Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. The clip resurfaced years later after being reposted, drawing renewed attention and comparisons to the well-known Patterson-Gimlin footage. Those comparisons, however, were weak. The figure looked small, moved awkwardly, and had arm proportions closer to a human's than an ape's. Over time, the story fell apart. The original uploader eventually admitted the footage had been staged as part of a short film promotion. In the end, it was revealed to be a man wearing a suit, not evidence of an unknown primate. A Reddit user claimed to have recorded a strange groan deep within the woods. The uploader was nearly convinced it was Bigfoot. He said it came from the same area where he believed he had spotted the creature before. Although the audio lasted only a few seconds, it sparked reactions online ranging from curiosity to disbelief as the comment section lit up. But the uploader disappeared shortly afterward, claiming undercover police had paid him a visit. Interesting. In 2018, a video appeared claiming to reveal the elusive Honey Island swamp monster. It was first filmed by Harlan Ford, a retired air traffic controller deep within the Louisiana bayou. Locals say this creature stands over 7 feet tall, covered in dark gray hair, and gives off a foul stench of decay. Its tracks are strange, webbed like an alligator's yet shaped like a man's. Then it disappears into the thick swamp mist, leaving behind only fear and speculation. In this recently rediscovered image, something large appears partially submerged in the water, according to those commenting. Its visible height above the surface seems to be about 6 feet. If the water is even 2 feet deep, that would place the figure at roughly 8 to 10 feet tall. There is very little background information available about the image, so the chance of a hoax cannot be dismissed still. It looks remarkably real. While hiking in Provo Canyon, Utah, two friends noticed something shifting in the distance.
What's it doing? Does he think it's a bear?
At first, it appeared to be a black bear, but when the figure rose upright, it became clear it wasn't a bear. The shape looked humanoid and was covered in dark fur.
Oh, I should be too close to it, huh? How cool though. Let's go.
Once it seemed aware of the hikers, the situation grew tense. Worried for their safety, the pair fled the area. While hiking through the forest, a man noticed something unusual in the distance. He heard branches snapping, then spotted a large, dark figure moving between the trees.
Pretty much up through here. I hear the brush popping and stuff. Oh, there he goes.
The person filming states the clip is original and has not been altered. The figure shown in the footage doesn't resemble any known animal, leading some viewers to call it possible evidence of Bigfoot. Skeptics, however, insist it may be a carefully staged hoax. Your friend 16 recently uploaded a 15-second clip titled, "This video I took at a lake," recorded during a quiet hike. The video opens with peaceful natural sounds, before a sudden chilling scream shatters the calm. It could have been an animal native to the area, yet the sound carries an unsettlingly human tone. Viewers were left disturbed, and now we move on to the next group of frightening encounters. On June 16, 2024, a strange photo started circulating on Facebook. It showed a tall, fur-covered figure, but something felt wrong. Its arms hung far lower than normal, and its body appeared unusually thin and upright. Very different from the Bigfoot seen in classic sightings like Patterson's or those reported in Ohio. Nothing about this figure matched what had been seen before. Some began to question whether this was even Bigfoot at all, or if it could have been something else entirely. While recording a calm afternoon inside his university's nature preserve, Christian later noticed something unusual while reviewing the footage. A tall, upright figure moving among the trees. The form appeared covered in dark fur, too human-like to be a normal animal, yet too odd to be an ordinary person. Its movement didn't resemble that of a deer or a bear. The gait was different. The clip quickly spread across campus, and even a biology professor remarked that if Bigfoot were real, that preserve would be a reasonable place to find one. What Christian captured remains unexplained. Hopefully, it wasn't simply a prank.